Gamers, one and all, we're playing Elden Ring again. This is Monday. It's late at night. It's 7:15 p.m. Pacific. Whoa. And we were initially scheduled to do a little bit of Norco on Mostly Walking, but unfortunately, Leigh is out this week. Sean Bloom is out next week. So we're just going to be doing some late night gaming on these Mondays. And we are in the unbelievably beautiful mountaintops of the Giants. So let's talk about a little of what we did the previous day. I mean, the last stream that I did of Elden Ring, we got a ton of stuff done. We first went through Deep-Root Depths. We accidentally found an entrance from the Frenzied Flame prescription in here and decided to go through and clear out all of this and discovered the Prince of Death's throne after defeating a boss here. And here's the thing that's amazing to me. It teleports you right here, where you're in what looks like a chapel, and there's a corpse up at the altar. And when you walk out the chapel and around the corner, you get to the East Capital Rampart, which then leads to a beautiful view of the capital city of Leyndell. And what's remarkable to me about this, this path here from Deep-Root Depths. Yeah, actually, let's just appreciate how huge this frickin' map is. I mean, this is just stunningly enormous. What's amazing to me is that one way that the player could get to the capital city is the way that I did. I did Caelid and Limgrave and Liurnia, and then got into Nokron, the Eternal City. Did most of this, was unable to beat the boss, and then made my way up north, going through the ruin-strewn precipice here, and then walking up to the city from this angle. I had friends that actually made their way up the ruin-strewn precipice, and then explored this way, got to Seethwater River, and then walked their way up Mount Gelmir to the Volcano Manor, and then came out this entrance through the Altus Plateau to the city this way. Alright? However, as it turns out, if you are strong/determined enough to beat the two gargoyles at the Great Waterfall Basin, that will take you to the Great Waterfall Crest in a coffin, where you can complete this area, defeat the Prince of Death's throne, and then make it to the capital city from this way. It's crazy to me how many different arcs and paths there are to get to these different locales. But on Thursday, we did beat Melania, Blade of Mikola, and many of you are Melania, Blade of Mikola. We found a teleporter here that took us all the way to this area that I had no idea we could even get to. There was this enormous palace over here. We managed to get into the Lake of Blood, work our way up, and defeat Mog, the Lord of Blood, here. And then we continued on in our journey, trying to get the last final map shard, I think, in the entire game. I think that this is the last map shard in the entire game. We have mostly cleared out this whole area. We figured out the Heretical Rise. I'm so sick. Got through the Spirit Caller Cave, and got over here to the Giant's Grave Post, where we exist now. So what we're going to do today is we're going to try not to wander up into here, which looks like the kiln of the first flame. I mean, what a beautiful way to denote there's fire up here. So I'm going to kind of work my way up this ridge. I'm really curious to see if I can get to here and make my way over to this top ledge, which we were unable to get to. So yeah, let's begin exploring. Argetnas is hyped for the end of Elden Ring, future triumphs and endeavors. I feel like there's going to feel like there's a hole in my life when this is done. I think this game is marvelous. Let's go ahead and light it up. I mean, the sheer artistry and scale of this game is just incredible. Apo Qualls says, "You're marvelous." Apo. clouds are just unbelievable. How am I feeling? I think I'm pretty good. I think I'm pretty good. I think I'm pretty good. The reason I'm saying this with some hesitancy is that I have been in maximum dog dad mode. Wake up, feed Cece, walk Cece, entertain Cece, get some work done, come out, check on Cece, do the stream, go Cece-ing. Because I have a lot of pets to take care of while Brit's out of town. We're actually not that far, so I kind of want to go like this. Shadowcast is taking care of my dog is one of the most time-consuming things. It's also the thing that gives me the most happiness. Yeah, no, I mean, like, dogs are awesome. Do not get a dog unless you literally want to have hours of your day deleted for someone else. We're finally seeing the giants. Watch this, I'm just gonna eat it. So, what? What? Oh my god. What are these doing up here? It's interesting to finally get to the mountaintops of the giants over here. I believe this is called the Forbidden Lands. I think that there's so much narrative that comes from just the idea that the Frenzied Flame prescription, I should say, there is a hidden sewer where underneath, deep under the ground, is the Forsaken Depths, and under there is the Cathedral of the Forsaken, where Mog the Omen is, and beyond that was a seal blocked off by Morgoth, the Last King, whom we fight here, that leads down to the Frenzied Flame prescription. Seems to be some other terrifying force, and that even deeper below that is the Prince of Death's throne, and then over here is the Forbidden Lands. And, you know, this is obviously a theme that exists in religions through the history, where if there is someone that is the other to the religion or to the group in power, they frame them as villainous and bad and forbidden and forsaken and, you know, evil in all these ways. And, you know, we've been seeing giants throughout, but often they are, you know, in forced labor, where, like, right here, there's the beautiful sequence where there's the procession of knights all dressed up that has the giants being hauled along with them. And it's interesting to finally get to the spot where it is the mountaintops of the giants. It is the giants' home. And I'm unsure what we're to make of these frozen, ruined beings. And in a lot of ways, I also thought that these... Yeah, maybe these limbs... Maybe these are some sort of weird resuscitated hands of the giants. So again, I'm going to try to explore down this way first. We have a really good loadout for this. Kind of horrifying that this could possibly just be, because I don't quite remember the lore of the hands. Food Poodle says, poor Morgoth. He's still one of my favorite characters in the whole game. Dude, Morgoth. With that, like, tree root head. So beautiful. And actually looked, like, alarmingly similar to Mog. And again, I don't know if this is some sort of... You know, there's Margit and Morgott and... You know, is Mog another version of this? I don't think so. I think that there's being an omen. I see. I think that being an omen is... Yeah, so I think that this, you would need to be up on that ledge. I think being an omen is like a projection of yourself in some regard. Because we saw that at Ronnie's awesome spot. Yeah, I see. So, I can't even get to that from here. Oh, I see, because it's on top of that guy. What's with all the M names? You know... It doesn't bother me. Like, I don't know the difference between Rena and anyone else, but Ronnie, Renala, Radagon, Radon. Food Poodle says redacted. You know, because there's also Saluvis and Celia and Liurnia and Raya Lucaria. You know, there's a lot of, like, also L's and S names in there as well. And I'm really eager to see if there's a way to get over to this side. 'Cause we could see this from quite far away. And this is right when you enter into the Mountaintops of the Giants, right? Here's the Zamora ruins. We worked our way around through this crevice along this beautiful spindly walk that we can actually see right down there. How to play this game says, what are the spoiler rules for lore things? Specifically, things you have seen but might not remember. No spoilers at all, in the slightest. If I haven't caught on to something, please don't tell me. You know, if, for instance, I go, what was the name of that place that we went to with the guy? Oh, Saluvis. Yeah, what was his deal? You know, things like that are great. But if, for instance, you say, hey, Sean, you might recall, or you might have forgotten, but this person said this thing in Act 1 of the game. About how to break through a seal on this side of the kingdom, you know, and those sorts of things I always want to figure out on my own and re-remember on my own. Because, you know, I've stressed before, the big thing I have about spoilers is that I love that feeling of discovery. Also, so I'm going to kind of work my way back like this. I'm also going to remove this, replace it with this to remind myself that what I'm going through. One more. Man. I love that feeling of discovery. I love that feeling of, wait a minute, how does that work? And then learning and realizing and being like, oh my god, fuck yeah, you know. And sometimes that is like something like with Nokron. I don't know how no one spoiled Nokron for me, but this was unbelievable. This experience. And so some of that is just wait, Sean will have that thing happen eventually, you know. But in a lot of other situations, it's like Sean has the information that he needs. Does he know? Does he know that he has it? Oh, God, I just can't figure out how to get through this. Does he? Let's see if he remembers. Let's see if he figures it out. In that case, technically, yes, it is something that I saw, that I know, that once I re-remember, I will excitedly and eagerly solve the task or solve the puzzle or do the thing that I was talking about. Technically, yes. But for that reason, because there can be those little periods of consternation and evaluation and reflection, I'm just like, yep, even if there's something it seems that I've forgotten that I've seen before, I also kind of prefer not to get spoiled on that. So that's a terrific question, and I again, am very grateful for you being like, hey, Sean, what do you think about this? What's your policy on this sort of thing? When we're done with this game, I gotta figure out what the fuck I'm doing with my life. Deemzer says, once you're done with your playthrough, and however many years that takes, are you gonna open up spoilers for chats? Do you want to save for further playthroughs through? You know, I'm sort of in a... Let's cross that bridge when we get there. Chances are I'll love some spoilers, and I'll probably go through a period of discovery and spoilerage myself. But I don't want to say, hey, get ready to spoil shit for me, because I think that I want to see how I'm feeling. Because, for instance, if this game ends, and I feel unbelievably confused, and I'm like, wait, what about this? What about that? What about these things? What about those things? What the hell? What the heck? You know, then all of a sudden, I might actually be spending quite a bit more time in the lands between, trying to uncover those things and filling in the gaps of those questions. Native Legends is kind of a bin I digs into. Little sorcerer at some point on stream. Love the magic stuff. It seems really awesome. Sean GG said, I really like the moments of reflection meditation that you had when you found the bridge with the stones last time. Very chill. Ah, yes, that is one of the more chill moments of my entire life, in fact. You fuck. Video game. Think there's an invisible bridge there? I think there might be. I also suspected that this cave might have been a way to get up. Bookcaps is the worst part of finding an invisible bridge is wondering how many you didn't find. Well, they don't call me Dave Fine for nothing. Do we mess with the dragon community and stuff? Oh, hell yeah. Today's episode of shit. Is sponsored by Cat. Fuck me, man. She keeps rubbing against my video switcher. See, look at me. I got some cool shit. Cat, add strophic. Nice, the cube. Nice. Alright. How many of these fucking things do I have? Horse parkour. Horse parkour. Oh, there's literally a fucking walkway, dude. Oh, you just walk from A to B. All right. Dude, this game is, you know, it's funny. I have a friend that does, like, you know, fiction writing and stuff, and has just talked about a lot of the elements of this game, connecting them to good fiction writing. Where, like, okay, so let's paint a picture for ourselves, right? Actually, let's just walk over and take a screenshot and call that the picture, shall we? Let's paint a picture. You want to start writing a book series. And you're interested in being someone that writes like a book a year and all the books are of the same character in the same world. A lot of books that work like this. Anita Blake, Vampire Hunter. Dresden Files. Lee Child's Jack Reacher series. Great fucking books. Right? Look, I'm a bird. Incredible. And all the trees from the starting area. Beautiful. So let's say you want to be one of these people that writes, you know, pumps out a book a year. Here's a very reasonable thing to do, right? Here's a very reasonable thing to do to say, all right, well, I'll just have... Wait, why is it saying that there's... Wait, hold on. Where did I die? Oh. Oh, guess who maybe took a tumble? You know, let's say you want to write your character, and, you know, you're just like, okay, this is a guy who solves crime, and each book is like a new crime. All right, let's write book 1. All right, we did book 1. Let's write book 2. All right, let's write book 3. We haven't gotten published yet, but we're starting to show the publishing houses that we actually have a lot of work done already that we're pretty content with. You know, so these are the kinds of things that, I mean, these are literally stories that I'm literally cribbing directly from the author's mouth, so this is how they did these things. And what could wind up happening is you intend for, eventually, you're thinking of spinning up, like, a larger story arc. You have ambitions to do bigger stories, but what happens is, after a few books that you've written, like, you know, Jack Reacher, you wind up in a situation where you're like, you know, it's kind of hard to actually figure out a way to make a larger story arc. Maybe I should just stick to something that's more episodic, which frankly is very, Lee Child, very like, not Dresden Files, very Jack Reacher, which is great. The Jack Reacher books are amazing. Jack Reacher is just 6'5" and beats the shit out of everyone. He's great. He's cold and emotionless. He sits in the huge chair. The chair is enormous, but still looks small in comparison to Jack Reacher. He takes a sip of hot black coffee that burns down his esophagus. He makes a conclusion. It's time to beat the shit out of some goddamn Nazis. Right? It's like fucking great. Love Jack Reacher. It's good shit, right? It's good shit. But when you think about some of the really amazing, huge moments and twists in book series, something like, you know, Book 12 in the Dresden Files. Just an unbelievable payoff in that book. I mean, Changes is fucking incredible. I mean, it's incredible. Some of the twists and payoffs that happen in Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson. It's incredible. Oh, really, huh? It's incredible. This is probably going to lead me back into the same catacombs as before. And there's a question of, my God, how do you do something like that? I mean, that's just incredible. And something that Brandon Sanderson has talked about a lot is, dude, it's just planning. A lot of it is planning. It's not that you need to necessarily be a genius. It's just that you need to sit there and you need to come up with a plan. And then if you're working towards that plan, you can do really amazing things. And I'm bringing this all up, and I'll talk about Brandon Sanderson in a moment, but like, if you said to yourself, let's make a game where you regularly see places you can't get to build that anticipation. And let's keep doing this in lots of different ways, but places that you can't get to build anticipation. Ow. And look at this. I get to the mountaintops of the Giants, right? Already this entire mountain ridge, I've been wondering, what the hell is up there? What the hell is up there? What the hell is up there? I've been wondering. And then I finally get up there, so that's one kind of payoff. And what is the very first thing that happens after that payoff? I round the bend, I see on my map there is this area right here, and I go, how the hell do I get to this? As it turns out, I need to get way deeper into the mountaintops of the Giants, go all the way around the lake, swing around this side, and then I can eventually come back and be on top of this. And in other words, setting up this high area that you can't get to, that then when you get to, you go, oh, finally I'm here. You don't really need to do anything sophisticated technologically. You don't need to do anything brilliant design-wise. You just need to plan for it. And I feel like this game is such an extraordinary case in point of, yeah, dude, you just plan for it. Flame protect me? What is that one? A.G. Blues of Brandon Sanderson has college lectures on writing on YouTube for anyone interested. Oh yeah, I've watched a ton of them. I don't even do short story writing, or long story writing, or any kind of writing. I don't fucking do it, but they're just brilliant. They're incredible. Greatly increases fire damage negation. I might up my faith here. I don't know. I'm kind of unsure on what to add attributes to. I still love being a thick endurance boy. You know, I find this idea of planning to be like so under-discussed, because there's this feeling of, you know, like, but what's the clever thing that you did? What's the really unique, remarkable, never seen before, once in a lifetime, brilliancy kind of move, as opposed to like, no, it's just really good planning. I just planned it out in advance. Like, this game has so much of that shit. Well, someone's shaders didn't load properly. The fog seems to not be affecting one element here. No, you know, these guys, it's fine. I'm just gonna stick to this. A lot of shaders loading up randomly. Oh, are you the blackened monsters? You are. So I can't actually hurt you. Unless I step into the light. Okay, no, these are not shader errors. This is actually accurate. So these guys are invulnerable. Unless I walk them into a certain kind of light. That's right there. I am so fascinated by, like, the things that are deeply not sexy, but are just like, yeah, you just fucking plan that. Like, I remember talking to a Dota player who was very good. Oh, come on. Good Dota player about, like, how do pros get so good at juking in and hiding in trees? And he's like, well, a lot of the pros that I know just open up the map with no computers, and they just wander around and just stand in areas and go, wow, that's hard to see. And they spend like a few hours doing that, and then every little bit of time, you know, they'll just go revisit and see new areas to mess around with, you know, with hiding in trees. And it's like so pure and so simple. It's just like, yeah, they just kind of wander around and check it out, you know? Or like, how did that person get such a good build order? It's like, well, he just opened up a 1v0 and just played a whole bunch. And just kept practicing it for a while until he felt like he got it. Well, how did he get good timings on that build? He just wrote down in a notepad, and he just put in a lot of work writing down and recording things in a notepad, right? There's this, like, delicious simplicity of all of it. And, you know, like, I don't know, I think about that with this game a lot, right? Like, this game does a lot of things that I feel are fucking brilliant. But like, most of it is also just like, yeah, they just did it. Like, dude, look at the fucking size of this map. Look at just the sheer enormity of this fucking map. And then there's a howling tree, and I still have no fucking clue how to get to Crumbling Thar Missoula. That's like way over here. Oh, and how do you get several unique underground areas? Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5, 5, 6 unique underground areas. You know, you just do it. It's not like there was any unbelievable design element where it's like, oh my god, you just discovered the shrinking circle. Oh, no one's used the shrinking circle in major games before. Holy shit, you used the shrinking circle? No, they're just like, yeah, places that are in interesting locations where the traversal is unique and cool. I see. Fuck. I don't know, I'm so tickled by that. I'm so tickled by that idea that, like, someone just sits down and does a lot of proper planning and then just owns it some shit. I remember even, like, listening to stories of Flash. The absolute god of Brood War. You know, just talk about, like, yeah, he would just have an idea, and he would just play it, and 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 play it by himself until he felt like, yeah, I think there's something here. Huh. There it is. Very well. Okay. What the fuck am I talking about? What am I talking about? Sarah says, I'm so embarrassed. It took me years to find that lever, and I just kept looking around for something. Dude, it's just... Gigs, what prompted such a late night stream? One of my favorite things to do in my entire life is my Monday night stream with my dear friends Leigh and Sean. And they were unavailable today. They're also unavailable next Monday. So Rather than just up and cancel the stream. A little late night action. Fuck me, video game. Now this should be shining, yeah. Why am I talking about that? Oh yeah, dude, just like, there's so many incredible creative works that are just the result of someone just not fucking around and planning. You know, I recently watched this great piece from Wendover about amusement park design. There's a really interesting thing that happened when, you know, so J.K. Rowling writes the Harry Potter books. Huge phenomenon, right? Cranial vessel candle stand? Wait, what? Cranial vessel candle stand? Show me your cranial vessel candle stand, man. So huge international sensation. It wasn't just good people of all different ages, all different cultures, all over the world in different languages, who did not read books said, holy shit, I want to read this fucking book. Surge of Faith? Candlestick used in the worship of Birak, the most hallowed monk, prelate of the Giant's Flame. Concerned over the lazy arrogance with which the monks treated the flame, Birak severed his own head as a lesson to the others, intending it to be used as a candle stand. His faith yet smolders from within the cranial vessel. Set the flames of Birak's faith ablaze in the cranial vessel, and raise it aloft to rain down fireballs in all directions? Holy fucking shit. Holy shit. So then, J.K. Rowling, I knew had involvement in the Harry Potter movie series. And when I say involvement, I mean, like, actually did quite a bit of... So I need to go... No, actually, I want to... Perfect. This is where I'm going to do a giant... And not just that she was involved, but like actually had some pretty strict guidelines around what she permitted the studios to do and not do with characters, the world, and so on and so forth. What I didn't realize until I saw this piece by Wendover Productions, and then I went and read a bunch more about this, that like, so amusement parks were like, yo, dude, we want to like try to leverage this incredible IP of Harry Potter to do something at our amusement parks. So Disney, for a period of time, was trying to option the rights to be able to make some sort of Harry Potter themed component of Disneyland. That deal fell through, and eventually Universal Studios picked it up. And at Universal Studios in Florida, they made the, you know, I don't remember what it's called. It's like the Wobulous World of Harry Potter. Wonderful World of Harry Potter, something like that. And the reason the deal fell through with Disney is that J.K. Rowling was like, had really strict demands over how immersive the area was going to be. Like, no, you can't sell Coke and Pepsi and Sprite and shit. You can't do that. You can only sell butterbeer. It has to be branded in-world. You literally need to recreate Diagon Alley, and people need to be able to buy wands, and actors need to be playing characters that are in-world when they're doing that. And, you know, there needs to be people who are improvisational actors who are living in the space and acting out and interacting with, you know, people's experience And just had, like, demand after demand after demand after demand after demand. That eventually, Disney was like, dude, no, let's fucking not do it. Alright. Was there anything down here? Oh, yeah, what's down here? I'm cheesy. I'm cheesy. And the thing is that all of these really strict demands, and I mean, like, contractually speaking, J.K. Rowling was putting in things like, dude, if you ever want to put in anything, I get the right of refusal on it. Giant seed. Hell yeah. Sacred seal depicting the one-eyed god of the fire giants, adorned with braids of red hair. Sacred seal wielded by the fire monks and prelates. This catalyst enhances the giant's flame incantation. See, this is what I mean by it feels like there's other cosmic forces in play. Astel, the natural born of the void, was the one that really made me go like, oh, fuck. It's not just that there's a holy order and those against the holy order. It's that there's like a bunch of different orders. Because, like, look, the one-eyed god of the fire giants, I assume that's not a one-eyed fire giant. I assume it's actually some sort of weird god being, but unfortunately I have a lot of bestial incantations that I want to make sure are boosted by my claw mark seal. Anyways. So J.K. Rowling had this really strict vision, and as a result demanded really strict controls over what was and was not allowed to be part of this park. And so Disney pulled out, and Universal Studios were also really hesitant. And lo and behold, when Universal Studios finally finished, you know, the wondering, wonderful, wobulous, whatever it is, world of Harry Potter. Ow. It increased their park revenue by 60%. Maybe it was even more than that. It's just like a ridiculous amount. So Bob Iger, in response, wound up purchasing the wound up pushing to purchase Star Wars and then try to make a similar kind of world that was a Star Wars universe style in-park world based upon that success. And I'm not going to say anything more about the Star Wars side, because if you want to look at that, Wendover Productions did an amazing YouTube video that I just watched and read more about last night. And, like, the thing that is spoken about... Oh, this can go up and go down, huh? Oh, the mechanism is higher up, huh? So probably I'm going to wander up, hit this mechanism, and that's what's going to allow me to defeat the giant that was at the other level. Okay. Maybe. And, you know, what I love so much about where the doubt came from that both Universal and Disney felt when they were discussing with J.K. Rowling is just that she had what seemed like a lot of really small demands. And it was not actually clear what made these work together. You know? And, again, it's just like... coming back to this idea of, my goodness. Oh, I thought it was out of range. The day 9 idea of the day is planning, baby. Planning, the power of planning. Because, you know, Watchdog's greatsword? Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Actually, do I already have one of those? Where's my Ruins greatsword? Is it up here? No, I already passed it. Holy shit, it actually got scooted. Where's my Ruins greatsword? There it is. Got scooted by the Watchdog's greatsword. Look at this S strength scaling. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. The fuck was that? I'll just put my doper greatsword. Yeah, there's just like a whole lot you can do with just like planning. Because, you know, I feel like one of the things about the spread of social media, or even before this big spread of social media, the spread of like business journals and discussing the clever tricks that, you know, one company did in order to like get its grip on whatever. Is there's this like implication a lot of the times that it's like so-and-so did this one trick in order to become a successful company. And it's like, actually, no company does a single trick to become a successful company. I see, watch this. So when I do this, this will elevate up that glow stick boy that we were looking at before. And that's the same giant as before. Sick. I recommend this is survivorship bias. It's not survivorship bias that I'm trying to talk about. Unless you're talking to someone else, in which case, fucking LOL, I've been doing that a lot lately. It's the idea of... Oh, you're already active. Okay. It's the idea of trying to think there's something clever going on when really there's just a lot of brute force work and grinding and planning going on, right? Like, so for instance, Sean, what was your trick to, you know, being able to make a career out of streaming? And it's like, no career, no trick. I started doing 5 extremely high-level shows a week. I'm talking about StarCraft strategy at a really sophisticated level. Because it's the thing that I had spent decades, or a decade plus, getting good at. Ah! Survivorship bias would be something like, well, I did this one thing, so therefore everyone who does this one thing should do it and they'll succeed. Somewhere a heavy door opened. Oh, that's cute. And it's like, how did I actually manage to do the day 9, or get a career and do the day 9 dailies? Well, it's just frankly a lot of brute force fucking work. Shadowcast says, I think one thing that trumps planning is vision. I feel like that's one of those statements that's more philosophical than pragmatic and useful. Because no one's going to say, should we have a vision and no plan, or should we have a plan and no vision? You know, I think that, like, you know, you want to have clarity of vision, so that way you can make something good. And to make sure you're working towards something and not sort of working randomly. You want to have, you know, planning, because it's like, what a powerful tool to leverage. Huh. What a powerful tool to leverage. I see, so this is the other side. So this will lead up. I see. Showcast says, if you don't have a vision, any amount of planning you do gets you nowhere. again, that feels very philosophical to me and not very pragmatic. The way in which it might be pragmatic... Okay, so I see. So this just drops to this other side here. We can climb back up. Nice. Shadowcast TV says, I think it's incredibly pragmatic. This is my entire work ethic. Yeah, so, like, what we might say in favor of the statement, you know, that this one trumps the other one, which is there's a really functional thing that happens in a lot of businesses and a lot of, like, big work meetings where everyone's like, all right, everyone. Like, you've heard me give this criticism before of the sprint product cycle idea. Every 2 weeks, we do a sprint, and at the end of the sprint, we evaluate what went on in the sprint, we identify what we want to do for the next 2 weeks, and then we sprint again. The idea of calling it a sprint is it's this notion of... Well, actually, I want to check over here, too. The idea of calling it a sprint is it's this notion that, like, no. It's not that you just sit down and try to... Wait, if I go this way... I see how this is connected. Sorry, I zonked out for a second. You know, you wind up with people that don't know where they're going to, so they're kind of wandering left, wandering right, wandering forward, wandering back, and no one's actually making progress towards a specific thing. So in that case, it's very important to understand the vision of where you're going to. Because, you know, if you take, for instance, this game that seems to have a very, very crystal clear vision of where it was working towards, you can wind up with situations where people can just start working independently as a designer under Miyazaki, and they know that the work that they produce will highly likely be in the final game. That has a lower chance of getting thrown out because they're all working towards the same shared vision. Which might be a little bit about what you're talking about, Shadowcast, right? Like, if I know where I'm going, and I understand what I am trying to work to, if I have a clear vision in my head of what my destination is, then... I mean, fuck. I would rather have a clear sense of where I'm going without a plan to begin, because I can kind of do stuff as I go and judge, is this working towards the vision? Yes? No? Yes, it is? Good. I should probably keep doing it then. You know, that sort of thing. And, you know, the way in which I might say this is highly pragmatic is I might say something like, hey, if we are a company, and you're saying to me, all right, everyone, we have the plan, let's go for it. And you say, wait. Before I sit down and start working, what's the sense of the end destination? Do we have a vision of what we want to work on? And they're like, no, but we'll figure that out as we get there. We're working towards it. But the reason that I'm using the phrase, I think it's philosophical, is that I find that, like, really often it's easy to wind up in these, and you're not exactly doing this, Shadowcast. It's more me responding to sort of theme. Oh, hey, it's the ancient hero of Zamor. Somebody chill. We fought a Omen version. Not an Omen version. What is this move again? Fought this character initially right here in the Weeping Ever Jail. The reason I say I think it's philosophical is less... How do I describe this? Me saying it's philosophical is actually kind of inaccurate. This was an argument provided to me by someone else. This is not my argument, but it's so good. It's my argument now. It's mine. My friend said the following. There is a gulf between people that make shit and people that leave comments. That was a nice little sequence. There's a gulf between people who make shit and people who leave comments. You know, because you get, and again, this is not you, Shadowcast. It's just I'm trying to figure out how to find the right articulation of why I communicated in that way to you. So we've sort of done this shard down here, so I'm actually going to go all the way back. Giant's grade post. But, you know, there is, let me see if I can make a really concrete example. Fluid container 1 is done. Fluid container 2, let's go. Oh, shit. So let's think of a really concrete example. Once upon a time, how do I... You know, okay, I'm going to make something fictional because I don't want anyone to fucking lose their jobs, right? But there was a situation where there was a company that started working on a game, and they had a vision for the game. Now, how do you playtest this vision? Well, first you gotta spend like a year making the technology. And as a really great example, hey, if we want to make an MMO, it's gonna take a long time to get the networking layer good enough for us to do our very first playtest. It's not like you can just trivially do a Unity prototype of an MMO in a weekend or some shit. And so, this company is fictional that has its identity is changed for the sake of whatever the fuck. I was having a hard time pathfinding up there. Oh no, that's a bird. They were in a situation where they spent all this time building this technology. And you know what happened? They built the tech, they started to playtest this really great idea the whole team was excited about, and they found out that it was trash. Oh shit, that's scary. So they had to do some scrambling. They had to figure out what kind of game it was. And since we're playing an open world RPG, let's say that they eventually settled on the idea of an open world RPG. It's not what they originally wanted to do. But they said, maybe we can take some of the good parts of this idea and turn it into an open world RPG with a twist. And so they started to do some testing on this, started to build some new tech on top of their existing tech, and lo and behold, they started to go, okay, actually, yeah, we can do something good on this. We can do something good with this, right? But they lost 6 months. So then came the final few months where they were leading up to launch, and they're trying to complete quests, they're trying to get all this stuff done, and they're just out of time in a lot of ways. They're going to be able to ship a product, but when I say they're out of time, what I mean is that, like, you know, they had a cool idea for a custom, a character customizer that would allow you to change your character up in all these cool ways. Not just affect the visual, but affect like some interesting audio and emotes and stuff like this. And they wound up being like, okay, well shit, like literally we want to really nail the core storyline of the game. We don't have time to do this character customizer. We don't have time to actually do a lot of the sexy, neat detail work we wanted to do with like our menus. So we're just going to kind of have some bland menus. We're going to have some lacking customization. But my god, they shipped the product and it got like, you know, an 82 on Metacritic. It wasn't like in the 90s. People weren't like, holy shit, this game's fucking incredible. But it made more money than it cost to build. And a lot of the people were like, oh, fuck yeah, what a relief. Again, it's not an open world RPG, in case any of you are going to try to look it up. I've changed that to match the game we're playing, to, again, protect the innocent. But, you know, this example allows us to examine this gulf that exists between people who make shit and people that fucking leave comments. Where the people who made the shit went, holy shit. Literally, the entire studio were all convinced that this vision this idea was going to be awesome. And it was not awesome. It was bad. If you get them in the head, their bleed goes up way faster. It's really nice. Oh shit, there's a second one. And then when it turned out that it wasn't good, one more and it'll bleed if I hit the head. Yeah, nice. And this whole studio of really talented craftsmen, they all went, Jesus. We did some incredible maker work. We did some incredible effort trying to figure out how to make the thing actually get salvaged, despite the fact... There's another one, eh? Despite the fact that we had to throw out a bunch of technology, we had to throw out a bunch of ideas and really start from scratch in a lot of ways. And yet, a whole bunch of commenters were like, why did this studio literally not have any character customization? I mean, they don't need to look any farther than Game A, Game B, Game C to see that people really love these things. What a bunch of idiots. You know, there's all this critique, and there was all this sort of... And again, when I say the phrase philosophical, what I mean is that, like, it's philosophical is actually a really bad word to describe what I'm trying to say. It's this kind of academic, ideal conditions, ignoring the functional difficulties of making something that winds up seeping its way into a lot of the discussions on internet forums. Winds up seeping its way into the commentary around certain games. Like, I for instance, personally really hate... Hey, Jack, good to see you. This is the first thing that comes to mind for me is when you think MMO, pivoting to a different game, I think Kingdoms of Amalur. Yeah, I actually know a lot about that. I actually met Kurt Schilling. He actually, like, brought us out to 38 Studios. We got to meet everyone. I met one of my now good dev buddies there. I got to see how the sausage was made, and why the sausage was unable to pinch itself off and become a complete sausage, and instead the sausage got spilled everywhere, all over the state of Rhode Island in that case. Fucking great metaphor. But anyways, you know, you wind up with this, like, these types of points that people make, where they will say things like, oh, you know what? I can actually point to something that I used to say a lot in the StarCraft Day 9 Daily days. There's a world of difference between having a unit and getting a unit. Alright, I'll ignore it. Like, hey, in this situation, wouldn't it be good to have ravens? Well, I mean, having ravens would be nice. But the problem is, in an RTS game, is how do you get the ravens? How do you get ravens? Because if you start trying to get ravens, you might just die on the way there. And I think it's, you know, it's kind of the same thing with game dev stuff, where it's like, yeah, no, it would be great if this game could just have character customization. But it's getting it that's the tricky part. Getting it is the tricky part. And so, you know, so Shadowcast, again, I want to stress for the billionth time, even though you've very thoughtfully been like, no, I see what you're saying. People watching on YouTube don't know that. They think you're the enemy. I've gone into the future and found out. Just gonna let that run its course. The types of comments that I get are, you know, examples of these philosophical, academic, kind of non-makery questions. Are things like, oh yeah, you know, this game doesn't actually feel like it feels like it lacks that kind of strategic decision making. Right? Here's a really good one. The game kind of feels like it's lacking that type of strategic decision making. Now, if you're talking to someone that makes shit, they'll be like, what do you mean by that? And, you know, from a maker to a maker, you might have a conversation like, well, what I mean is, like, there's that feeling of when you have two choices, and whichever one you choose, you will actually wind up with, like, super different... Fuck. I don't know why that stomp always hits me. There's that feeling that, like, choice A versus choice B, it's not just that one might be better than the other, it's like the outcome is different. Like, you know, and again, I'm imagining, you can see I'm referencing either the game we're playing or StarCraft. Fuck yeah. Woo, he's got a good spread. You know, what do you mean by strategic? Well, you know how in StarCraft, like, if you choose to make a second barracks or you choose to make a factory, it's like literally you have different tools at your disposal. You know, like I remember playing Diablo 3 in the early days, and if I went for a fire build or a poison build, it was just damage. It's not like it felt like I had different tools. It's not like I felt like I had the fast and quick movement of more Marines and then the slow, powerful defense of siege tanks. I didn't really feel that sort of stuff when, you know, it came to Diablo. It just was like, do you want to have poison things that say that they're poison and benefit poison? Or have fire things that say fire and benefit fire? And it doesn't feel like my outcome is the same. And I'm like, oh, no, I see. So it's like you make a choice, and as a result, your tools feel different. And then a maker might say, well, yeah, that's part of it. But I think another thing that kind of feels strategy-ish is when, based upon whether you chose A or chose B, it changes your future decisions. Like, in this game, I could make the decision to choose between a Naginata or choose between a Ruin's Greatsword. That will change the feeling of my moment-to-moment tool set. Like, I will have the ability to, like, pull this out and blow stuff up with my... Oh, I need to get more mana. Feeling of being able to pull this out and blow stuff up with my L2. I don't have that with the Naginata, which is more of a chipping thing. You know, like you have the feeling of a different set of tools. That absolutely exists. But you know what feels strategy like to me is when you make that decision. Is when your later decisions affect your future decisions. In Elden Ring, whatever you wind up choosing for your weapon, it doesn't change your future decisions. You can just switch weapons out at any point in time. But, like, if you build a barracks as your second structure versus a factory as your second structure, in the future, you're literally going to have a different composition of units, and I think that's cool. Weapon is not as good here. And so I might be like, okay, I'm understanding what you're saying. I'm gonna die. Ooh, I see what's going wrong. I'm not healing. For the makery type of person, they might say, okay, no, what I mean is that feeling of, like, not just having different tools, but having different future decisions based upon your existing decisions. That, to me, feels very strategy-like. And I go, okay, I see what you mean. So it's like me trying to understand the context. But the sort of commenty person type way of replying to this is, well, in a way, wouldn't you say that everything is strategy? I actually think that Rocket League is very strategic. You know, it's this kind of discussion that, like, doesn't actually help us make any fucking decisions. Yeah, like, and that's what I sort of mean by this academic philosophical. So wouldn't you say that everything is this? You know, I actually think that what's more important for a game to succeed is that it's less strategic and more tactical. You know, these kind of like statements where it's like, are we trying to have drinks as we sit on a park bench, passing a Saturday together, discussing the nature of ideas? Or are we actually trying to fucking make some shit? You know, because when I bring up the makers thing, it'll often, because I've had a discussion like that before where someone's like, yeah, no, I'm not feeling like this game is very choicey. What do you mean by choicey? You know that feeling where you make a choice early in a game of chess and like all your later choices feel like they really depend on what you did on move 1? You know, that sort of thing. And so, you know, when you were bringing up your statement, Shadowcast, I feel like there were two interpretations of this. One is the makery version, and one is the more leave a comment on the internet kind of version. And you say, I think that, yes, it can go down a philosophical hole if the wrong person has the wrong intent to the statements I made. Yeah, I think you're... Bloody Finger Okina, where are you at, BFO? Oh, hi. I know, I'll block and stab and stab and stab and stab and stab. Then I'll stab and stab and stab and stab. And then I'll stab. And then I'll stab and I'll stab and I'll stab. And then what I'll do is I'll block and I'll stab and I'll stab and I'll stab and I'll stab. Alright, this is the game. Rivers of Blood, Okina Mask, fuck yeah. Yeah, because the more philosophical version of that would be something like, you know, I think vision is more important than planning. What does it mean to be planning? What does it mean to be vision? Well, what you just called planning, I would actually redefine that as vision. You know, it's this search for the right definitions of things. And no one gives a shit about the definitions when it comes to actually making stuff. I have seen two different designers, one who says things like, what really matters is action with risk. And another person is like, what matters is meaningful decisions and choice. And these two people think that the same design is awesome in the same way. They're just using different language to describe it. For them, this language is a tool that they use to communicate to eventually produce a good design. And, you know, like, you know, Shadowcast, I liked a lot of the stuff that you said before, which is that you've been on projects where people have these intricate plans and they just, like, don't actually know where they're trying to go. I don't want to rest yet because I just killed all these fuckers. So let's go around the bend here, and let's go up to this peak, which crosses here, but then I'll kind of pull it back down. Kind of do this. By the way, I love that you can see the skull on the map. It's so sick. Yeah, and I mean, I hate to say it, I have, like, participated in shows. Holy fuck. Like, dude, okay, you know what's an example of a really well-run show to the point where I'm almost self-conscious because I feel a little fucking worthless? The PC Gaming show, man. The crew at PC Gamer, the crew at Paragon that actually produces the show, I mean, they know so what the fuck they're doing. You know, the devs at PC Gamer, or not the devs, the editors and folks at PC Gamer that put on the show, they have a really crystal clear plan of, on the creative side, what it's going to be like, what I'm going to do, what I need to bring, who I'm going to speak to. They already have pre-prepared lists of what they think are noteworthy conversation points to have as part of a discussion. Let's see. It's really unbelievable. Alright, let's go up onto the corpse. The kill burst flame. Trolls roar. Oh, so these are not giants, these are trolls that I've been fighting against. Well, don't I feel deeply offensive. What are y'all, giants? We get really sick of that. Uh-oh. Okay, yeah. That was the game. I don't know if any of you saw it, but there it was. That was the game. I'll just keep these decorative golden seeds. Damn, that's beautiful. All right, going back this way. Yeah, I mean, they're so organized and they're so on point and they're so incredible that, I mean, increasingly I go to the PC Gaming Show each year and I'm like, am I doing anything here this time? Like, You have such an iron grip of clarity over what we're doing. It's fucking incredible. I have also been on shows where there is endless daisy chains of meetings and meetings and meetings and meetings and meetings, where people are constantly circling back and trying to get consensus and then circling back again and trying to... So see some fingers here. So these are the hands of giants. I actually estimate that there was some sort of event of death of the giants and that these limbs were then cut and reincarnated in those bizarre, twisted forms that we see wandering around. Whoop! Oh shit. Fuck yeah. I love the semi-translucence of the Great Erd Tree. Showcast says people think that meetings are a band-aid for no direction. It's kind of funny how the more meetings there are going on, the less anyone has any clue what's up. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, I mean, I feel like there is this really important balance, if you're in a leadership or a directorial position, of tenderness and thoughtfulness and absolutely savage brutality. You know, where hey, I have this really cool idea of this and this and this and this. You know, a lot of that sounds interesting, but that's not what we're making. But I think it could be really cool. Yeah, it sounds really cool. And maybe on the next project, we can discuss ways to incorporate that sort of thing in. You know, I'd actually love to revisit it. Like, I want to stress, I don't think it's bad. But we're not going to do it on this project, period. Let's go 2, 3, huh? This might be one of my favorite areas. Just the... Again, this is a great example of planning over technology. Like, dude, in terms of the renderer doesn't give a shit if it's a tree or a house or a frozen giant. It's just trying to put polygons up there, you know? Billy Zinn says, this game is so sick, thanks for spending so much time with it. Such a joy to watch. Oh my god, Billy Zinn, man, I'm fucking pleased to hear it. And thrilled to see you. Oh my god, is it actual giants? Oh, ho, ho, ho. Time to do some edging. But, like, you know, if you just say, hey, wouldn't it be sweet if we had a landscape full of frozen giants? We don't even need, like, literally, if we think that we're going to have a giant that's an enemy, let's take that giant, put him in some different poses with some different clothes, and fucking freeze him. And, I mean, if you look, a lot of these giants look the same. They have different collections of trees and bramble and roots on them, which gives a sense of variety. But, like, shit, this is just such a cool landscape to wander through, you know? That's where I said I wanted to go to 4. Yeah, I think I will go to 4. Beautiful. much do I have? Not nearly enough. Yeah. Now, do I want to explore this area first? Dude, look at literally the frozen giants on the landscape. It's beautiful. Yeah, I think I do. I think I'll go 1, 2, and then we'll go 3, and then 4, and then 5. And I want to get some good views over there, you know. It's just the hand. It's so big. Fuck, he coming. What the fuck? Collision boxes. Not a big deal. Oh, Jesus. That's so fucking sweet. I mean, that's so cool. I'm not entirely sure what's happening with that hitbox. I mean, what is even going on? Oh yeah, it's on the other side. Yeah, so for some reason, when I held it there, it was fine. Ba 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 ba. Yeah, the hit box is basically the way that it works is that there's, and you can really get a good sense of this the more you play, where there's this idea of where is the location of damage, and then also where is the origin point. So for instance, if like my head is my character and my fist is the enemy, if this hand is the damage, right? If the damage is like right here, it can go, well, this is the origin point. Is the shield in between where the damage and the origin point is? Yes. Then it blocks. So then if I get damaged right here behind, you know, behind my head, sometimes the game will go, okay, well, the origin point is here, and the damage point is here, and the shield is in between, so it blocks. But sometimes it'll say the origin point and the damage point is behind the head, so it deals damage. And an example of this would be the Godskin Apostle, that when he has his scythe and he pulls it back, it says the origin point and the damage point is behind the head. And you can really see and feel this sort of thing where you'll have like an enemy that will crash down with an explosion that hits behind you, and you won't take any damage. Or a really simple example is, you know, this huge explosion on the ground and you're standing in the explosion. So the damage point is all around you, but the origin point is the enemy. So because you're facing with the shield, it blocks. Materials to acquire? Give me that Arteria leaf. So, you know, sometimes I can't tell if it's bugged or if it's intentional. Like, the Godskin Apostle had a really deliberate structure to how the swing worked. It would make me go, ah, yeah, because it goes behind and front. 4GNG says, I gotta hand it to you. You handled that fight the best I've ever seen. Hands down. Indeed. Hands down. Look out. Hands down. I love the idea of these giant cracked mountains that are just tethered together with chains. Because, you know, you see the implication of them just sort of shearing apart. You know, you see this shear here, shear this. There's these two things that are being torn. I mean, it's just literally being ripped to shreds. It's beautiful. Game. Get out of my game. I hear sound. I hear loud noises. So here is... What the fuck? What is this? This is awesome. Very well. Alright. Shadowcast is off topic. One thing I've really tried to learn from Sean during his streams is how he manages to diffuse politically incentivized language quite skillfully and quickly on stream. I'm curious what you mean about this. I'm curious because I spend a huge amount of effort trying to figure out how to communicate in an overall diffusive fashion. Oh. Shouldn't say diffusive, but diffusing. Hey, Rhino 1394. Good to see you. I've been thinking about your question about people liking this game because of what was happening with microtransactions, and I was like, I don't know if that's true, Rhino. And then Diablo Immortal came out, so I've been thinking about you. Ow, you fucking asshole. You're not Rhino, I'm not thinking about you, you bastard. I'm gonna finish the Shadowcast question number 2. You know, which is that, yeah, I guess no maps for the wicked, huh? Come here. Shadowcast says, for instance, the other day I believe someone used the word privilege to possibly explain something related to ignoring issues or something to that regard. You took the statement and quickly diffused any political sentiment to it. Well, yeah, you know, I think that, like, I just sort of default assume the best possible intention with people. And when I say assume, I mean I actually think, like, what are ways that people could communicate in a way that might literally feel terrible to me, but how might they actually have meant it in a nice way? And I literally invent scenarios. You know how a lot of people talk about getting into arguments in the shower? Well, like get into fights in their head? I imagine a lot of scenarios like this, where someone comes up and, you know, just tries to really shit on me, like, as hard as they can. But how do I, you know, maybe they're having a rough day, you know, and, you know, maybe they actually meant it in this way, or maybe they meant it in that way. And I think that so much shit culturally involves people trying to dunk on each other. You know, like, oh man, like, dude, any news article that talks about someone slamming another person, if that's in the title of a news article, not only do I not read the news article, I probably will stop reading the entire site. So slams this person. This person dunks on that person. Ha! I hit him with a gotcha. Here's a video of me asking a question that doesn't really make sense. Me editing the person to look confused. I got him. You know, all this sort of shit. Like, I hate that. I hate that garbage. And so I find that for me, anytime someone ever asks anything at all, as long as I, in some way, calmly give a nod of acknowledgement to maybe what they were trying to say, I almost get to behave however I want. Can I see Fire Missoula from here? I'm like, oh, look, you can see the twister on the screen, and then I realize my monitor is just, like, fucking dirty. So, you know, like, for instance, let's just take the term privilege. For any of you who are unfamiliar with the term privilege, here is my understanding of the word privilege. The idea of privilege is that there can be bullshit that you don't deal with, and because you don't deal with that set of bullshit, it sculpts your perspective in a way that could be inaccurate, or could have gaps, or that might cause you to not see the full picture. And so, you know, there is, you know, the idea of, oh, male privilege, where, you know, let's just pick an industry at random here. If you're a woman in gaming, you might have a lot of your counterparts say things like, but yeah, are you actually a gamer, or are you saying you're a gamer for attention? Now, let's get real probabilistic for a moment so we can be super neutral. Probabilistically speaking, the likelihood of someone asking me if I'm a real gamer and challenging my gamer credibility, it has rarely happened, ever. No one ever doubts that I play a lot of games, seriously. You know, and then there are other people who are ow, fuck. Frankly, way better than I am at a variety of games. Like, just way better. Because they're women, they get questioned, right? And so, what we might say is, you know, how much willpower does it take to put up with just that one set of experiences? Wish this guy would stop and just come at me. Bro. How much willpower? Let's just call it 1 unit of willpower to put up with it. So if you're a woman in games, you, on any given day, you might have to spend 0 or 1 willpower. Dealing with this kind of, oh my fuck, I hate fucking horse! I have to spend 0 or 1 units of willpower dealing with this shit. And I don't. And so, if we take that specific example, and let's be honest, I think many of us have seen other shittinesses extended towards women in gaming. Again, we don't have to talk about, does it happen a lot? Is there any... Are there other things men do? Let's just acknowledge that it does exist. Well, maybe if there's 10 different ways in which 10 different types of commentary get dumped towards a woman in gaming. Okay, hold on. Let me fucking kill this guy before I can talk about words and language. If there are 10 such things, then all of a sudden a woman in gaming might be experiencing 10 units of willpower extra per day that I don't. So, it might mean that literally, if streaming an hour takes 10 units of willpower, these are total bullshit measurements, it's just to illustrate a point. I don't want anyone to think that I am somehow concluding that guys have figured it out. Sexism can be boiled down to 1 hour of streaming. I understand the issues. Let me just be clear, that's not my point. But, you know, for the sake of example, if this sort of thing can occur, and we might be able to make some sort of comparison, well, you know, the idea of privilege is that, oh, because I don't have to deal as a man with this sort of thing, I actually wind up with extra energy at the end of the day that I wouldn't have had to spend putting up with stuff. You know. And it's a word that is useful for a framing. Where, and you know what it is? It's just a word, right? It's just a word that is trying to communicate something that's kind of complex and subtle. And in the same way that a tweet's worth of information will always have less information than an article's worth of information. Give me your arterial leaves, baby. An article will always have more info than a tweet. A word cannot capture all the nuance. It's just a helpful shorthand, right? But then, you know, there's a certain charge that comes into it, right? There's a certain charge that comes into it where, like, well, have we ever seen someone weaponize words? Yeah, I mean, like, hell, in this game, oh, you're a spellcaster. Well, you're not actually beating the game. You're not playing the real game. What do you mean by the real game? No one knows. It's just a thing that I think that kind of has a fuzziness to the definition. It has some subjectivity to it, and so on and so on. You know, there's a whole lot of ways in which people take language that's great language. Like you know, you may have heard me joke about this. I think the word trigger is a great word. I love this word. It's so useful to quickly communicate the idea that when I'm feeling good, someone can say something in a particular way that, due to past experiences I have and due to an emotional experience I had or so on, I can just be teleported to a place of upsettedness, right? It's really great. And then, you know, you get people like, oh my god, you're triggered. Someone's trigger. Oh, I'm sorry, did I trigger you? And all of a sudden, this word that is a really great, really valuable word for communicating a really useful thing gets fucked. And I think that this is, you know, I think about this sort of stuff when anyone uses words that could be charged. Would this guy just fucking... Shit. Come here. Or when someone uses these words, then all of a sudden we start winding up in this mincing of like, well, what's the word mean? Well, like, oh, well, I don't think that's what privilege means, and I don't think that that's what, you know... Oh, if you think that's privilege, that's not privilege. This is what privilege is. You know, like, there's this word mincing and quibbling that can wind up happening in those situations. And I just don't participate in it. So if someone said, hey, Sean, you know, like, hey, I want to ask you about some of the privilege you might feel in a certain situation. I immediately say to myself, I really don't give a shit about what some... Oh, fuck me. We're never going to get to some... We're never going to get to some ultimate truth statement. Let's just start talking about trying to understand what you... Not as in you're wrong, but just like, let's now that you've used the word to kind of clue me into the realm of what you were thinking, let's just go to that realm. Oh, Despy, fuck me, man. Get out of here. And that's been really helpful to me. And I found that's been really, really helpful. You know, I'm gonna fucking disable that NordVPN thing. Crashed. Good cat. Good cat. You like VPNs, huh? And I find that that's been really helpful for me. Because, you know, if someone's like, you know... even for more well-understood terms, like if someone says, okay, Sean, what do you think about sexism in the industry? Okay, well, I'm generally going to try to immediately stop using that word and start talking about concrete instances where bullshit things happen and how to deal with those concrete things. And I'm going to start talking about it in a way that allows us to move past any sort of loadedness with the word to talk about the substance of what you're trying to bring up. Bjorn says, well, wouldn't you say that it's important to establish what we mean by privileged or triggered or any other polarizing word in order to meaningfully engage in conversation? Yeah, like, the way that I would do it is I would say, you know, if we're... All right, give me my map. Hey, Nick, good to see you. I've been sending my brother lots of memes about what our childhood was like lately. Like that one about grilling. It's fucking so funny. To exactly Nicholas. But yeah, like so... Oh, hi. Hello. And yeah, Nick, I did beat Melania. In fact, most of the people here are Melania, Blade of Nicola. So let's... So let me remove these. Yeah, so like, you know, if someone said, hey, Sean, you know, like, do you worry about privilege and situation A, B, C? What I would do is I would say, okay, so tell me a little bit about, like, what you mean. And, like don't try to define the word for... I literally say this kind of things to people. Like, don't try to define the word, but just, like, speak to me in more plain English. Because a lot of people have a lot of different senses of what that word means. And all I care about is how you are using the word. I want to understand how you're using the word. And you know, this comes back to Shadowcast's comment about, like, okay, well, how do I navigate situations where I'm trying to diffuse? Well, if someone brings up a topic that has charge, or words that have charge, I mean, the first thing I'll do is I'll just give some calm validation to them making the point in the first place. You know, so someone's like, hey, Sean, what do you think about, you know, the assertion that, like, streaming is an easy job? And that you shouldn't complain ever because you have an easy job. It's pretty fucking loaded. I have tons of people constantly invalidating the work that I do. And what I won't do is be like, hey, fuckface, I don't go to your work and tell you that your shit's fucking easy, right? That would be an escalatory thing. I also don't try to get firm and blocky, you know, and be like, excuse me, I mean, that view, that's just incorrect. You're incorrect. You fucking piece of shit. I wonder if I can get up on some of these and if there's goodies. I love that this enormous skull here is just overlooking everything. Big skull here, big skull here. Just beautiful. You know, so if someone's like, hey, you know, like, streaming's super easy. You know, like, I'll talk about the things that are just nice about it. Because is streaming easy? Is streaming not easy? It's just, like, literally a valueless answer. There is no answer that possibly conclusively finishes that entire train of thought. Like, is it hard or is it easy? Sean spoke for 2 minutes, and we eventually learned that it was hard. Instead, what I would do is just, like, not actually... I'd say, well, you know, I think when someone says a street... Like, imagine someone said this to me. I would be like... Yeah, well, I mean, there's frankly a lot of things that you get in streaming that you don't have to put up with in other jobs. Like, you know, if you're trying to code a database and you're tired of it, and you're like, I don't want to code this database anymore. Uh-oh. Pretty hard to just turn the fucking project off and go do something else. Like, there's a lot of really nice freedoms about playing games, and frankly, my community is built around my favorite games to play, strategy games, RTS games, card games, and Elden Ring. You know, and just immediately right away, I'm giving some validation to that, you know? And, like, you know, hey, imagine your favorite day of playing your favorite game, And you're making money off that? Fucking on paper, man, doesn't that sound great? Wouldn't it be awesome if you could make money off literally your favorite shit? Doesn't that sound like the bee's knees? Horse parkour, let's go. In a lot of ways, it is terrific. But also, imagine a time when you were pissed off because you just lost in a game of Dota, and it wasn't your fault, it was your fucking teammate. Imagine that you literally had to stream in front of people during that period of time and go for another 7 hours. You know, imagine that you are no longer interested in your game at all. Like, if you get tired of coding your database or something like that, and you're a programmer, you can look for another job. If I'm tired of the game that I'm streaming in my community, well, I can't go stream somewhere else or become another person, right? There's actually, like, a lot of difficulty of moving the needle, you know? Moving my position, getting that sort of freedom. Also, if I mess this up, like, I don't actually have a skill set in a lot of ways as a streamer. I have an audience. Like you're seeing right now, most of the time my Monday shows get about 800 viewers. And, you know, hey, we're streaming Elden Ring, which was a big surprise for the evening. Playing some Elden Ring, and, you know, we're doing better than 800. That's, like, quite good. But really, I kind of want to be around 2,000 if I actually want to, like, be comfortable and not worry about the existential crisis. As Bjorn says, what do you mean about you don't have a skill set as a streamer? Yeah, how do I make money? I don't make money because I have a skill set. I make money because I have an audience here. If I'm the most skillful streamer in the world and I have 2 viewers, I earn no ad revenue, I have no subscription revenue, I have no ability to sell sponsorships. It's impossible for me to network. Like, the thing that I actually need is the viewership. And being skillful at communicating, speaking, being entertaining, talking, doing what I'm doing, deftly navigating a made-up concept to explain my approach to language and communication whilst clearing the mountaintops of the giants by holding up my fucking shield and stabbing, right? That's hard. Fucking super hard. None of you can do that shit. You're the envy. You're the giant envy claw. Just coming in, trying to clog my chat up. Wait. What the fuck is that? What is this thing? Right, like, content that people want to watch is what really matters. So, for instance, let's say that if I'm being hired to host a thing that causes me to not stream, the amount of money that I get paid is proportional to how big my streaming audience is, plus the amount of skillful work that I would have to do that event. So then so we've looked at this. So let me just kind of, oops. Let me remove these. Because what I want to do is I want to go like here, to here, here. Yeah, it's just there. Ripple Nibbles met you right after TI7. You were great. Thanks for the memories. Oh, hell yeah. I actually didn't really get to meet that many people at TI7. Did we meet, like, right outside the arena in that grassy offshoot to the side? In that case, I remember that. That was great. And if not, just lie and make me look cool, huh? Could you fucking do that for me? I'm so insecure. So, like, you know, if someone... Like, notice what I've done. I posed a fictional question that nobody asked. Classic Dana. I posed a fictional question that no one asked. And what did I do? I didn't say yes. I didn't say no. I didn't push against them. I didn't try to become a wall and resist their inquiry or opinion. I just started talking about the subject at hand and validated why someone would even ask that in the first place. And I find that this is an incredibly effective way to diffuse things, because even if someone's being shitty, even if someone's just like, Sean, I find you to be really fucking obnoxious, and I wish you would just, like, stop being so fucking goofy. It's really cringe. Which people do, right? People say that sort of shit. I still take the same approach. Someone's like, oh, dude, you're fucking super cringe. You know, I might say something like, excuse me, what do you mean? You don't like me screaming at the top of my lungs about an invisible bridge? I mean, come on, is that not the finest entertainment ever? You know, I'm not sitting here trying to get into a fight and an argument with someone, you know. And I literally have had that conversation with someone, not about the bridge, about some other thing. Are you gonna fall down, dude? Might have been Hearthstone or some other game, but like, I started to just have fun, and anything they said, we just had some fun. And shortly, the person was like, lol. And I was like, lol, perfect. See, we've now discovered what isn't cringe, because we got a lull out of you. There it is. I don't actually know if I ever went to that thing. No fall damage, no fall damage. Or I've had people be like, dude, I used to think you were really annoying. But then I kept watching and you're actually pretty cool. You know, and like, what do I do there? Do I go, fuck you, dude. You're a prick. You know, I don't know, it's just not helpful. You know, it's like, well, yeah. You know, so I don't know, I tend to, like, yes and every interaction that I possibly humanly can. If someone goes, like, I literally had someone come up to me at an event and be like, man, I used to think you were so fucking obnoxious, but, you know, now that I've watched some of your content more, you're actually a pretty cool dude. And what I said was, ah, what a relief that you have seen the light of my supreme awesomeness, which made him roll his eyes. And I was like, you see, I can tell right now that you think that what I'm doing is cool and not annoying. And it's so good that you finally see that now. And, you know, he's like fucking kind of chuckling, right? You know, I'm chuckling. And then we have a good interaction. I don't know. Overall, I really like people. You know? And I think when I started telling myself, no, actually, Sean, we actually do like people. Sometimes we feel a little insecure and shitty, but by and large, people are pretty great. And just yes-anding everything. Sean, you're cringe. Yeah, it really is one of my identifying characteristics. You know, like, I don't know. What? It turns out everything's fine. God, these things are gross. These curses would not surprise me that people think Day9 is an ass. Yeah, like, I mean, I am an incredibly strong personality. Like, I'm not a dick, but I mean, like... Oh, fuck. I mean, I'm a really strong personality, and you know what people will find when there's a really strong personality? They'll probably find him fucking annoying. I mean, Robin Williams talked a lot about how lots of people just found him to be too much when he would go into improvisational mode, you know? And that's okay. And, you know, like in some of the interviews seen of Robin Williams, he was never like, yeah, fuck those people. I am actually awesome. There is only one way to interpret me. You know. Oh, and also therapy. Therapy really helps in that shit. There's actually, like, no caves over here. I'm kind of surprised to not find, like, a single cave in this entire region. I mean, I think this region is gorgeous, but I'm surprised that there's really nothing really noteworthy to have discovered yet. Actually, I remember there was a famous old StarCraft player that you know, right when StarCraft 2 came out. I mean, he was a real legend. His name was Smuffed. He just fucking he like calls me on Skype about some project or something. He's like, yeah, I mean, I appreciate what you do, but like I really can't handle your intensity at all. And I was like, yeah, no problem. That makes sense. A lot of people don't. And then he was surprised because he's like, oh, well, I thought that would like piss you off. And I was like, no, it's fine, man. He's like, yeah. And then he was like, I could tell that he felt relief. And so he felt more comfortable telling me other things about me that he found fucking annoying. It's like, alright. Oh, so fucking funny, man. Is there a cave? Just cracks me up, man. Oh, fuck. Oh, hi. Oh, hey, guys. Holy shit, look at what we found. No. Turn the fuck around. Oh, shit. Back to the valley. Yeah, no, he's called me annoying or some shit like that. You know, it's fine. It's just like, dude, yeah, at the end of the day, you know, if someone's like, Sean, you're really fucking obnoxious, what am I gonna do? Be like, no, excuse me, I have some proof that I'm actually quite cool. Look at my Twitter follower count. Look at my Twitter follower. Oh, fuck, look at my fucking Twitter follower count. I don't know. Izzy Buzzkill's been watching you for years, just subbed tonight due to being slightly less poor than usual. Hell yeah. I was introduced to you through mostly walking and definitely went through the Three Stooges stages of appreciation. Leigh first for being strangely humorous, then Sean B for knowledge, then Sean P for being the glue that holds it all together. I really think it is my adhering personality. Oh, dude, does this? No fucking way. This links? We're happy to have you. And I will say, now that you brought that up, dude, I'm in a weird way kind of bummed that I don't see Sean and Leigh for the next 2 weeks. I mean, in a literal sense, like I can just fucking call them. I hear you, big boy. Crimson Whorl Bubble Tear. Sean and Leigh are just part of my weekly routine at this point. Would you fucking look at that? Izzy Buzzkills mostly walking is my D&D group's favorite show. My campaign is literally based on King's Quest VI. Oh, fuck yeah, man. Oh, our D&D group feels a strange pulling sensation. Uh-oh, we got some strong undertow. Now that I keep getting the bubble tears, I should review next time I'm at a bonfire. Lockwolf says, damn it, you're not annoying. Super chill and awesome, man. The coolest of all beings. On one hand, I really appreciate that. On the other hand, I can be pretty fucking annoying. Maybe not to all people, but certainly to some. Somebody shut that man up. Driving me bonker dicks. Oh, no fucking way I'm doing horse parkour to get up there. Oof. What was this little wobbly bubbly thing? It was just on the other side of this rock. Was it a graphical error? Was it a shader error? Where did it fucking go? What's the point of this peninsula, then? To walk between the legs of giants? I don't know. Obviously, don't answer that if I miss something, but... I mean, here's the thing. I've been pretty thorough in our explorationing. And... fuck is the point of this whole area, man? Just a bunch of giants playing fucking grab ass down here, man. No, there's gotta be more shit here. Gotta be a cave. Or a path to Farum Azula. Right? Oh, it's a ding-dong bubble tier. I don't fucking need a bubble tier, man. I don't even use my physics flask or any of my other flasks. Oh, you don't have the right. Oh, this is garbage. I will be assured a place in Farum Azula. See, I was up here. It had to have been a visual artifact. Very well. Yeah, I mean... let's play a little more. Play a little more. I am gonna go through this side first, which is up there. The real Farum Azula was the friends we made along the way. So, I posit, as a positor, I posit that I can explore Farum Azula, right? There is a consistency of the promise that if you can see it, you can get there. And as I revealed this last little mappy area, the last map fragment was here. This was revealed. So there's two things that this makes me conclude. One is, I can definitely go to Farum Azula, because look at this fucking map. Look at this intricately created map and like a giant circular room that seems like ideal for a boss. But knowing this game, the boss is probably on the back of this fucking dragon, because Miyazaki is just like, fucking put it in. And also I see this, which is the teleporter from the Four Belfries, which is located here. And so, so this lets me know it's explorable, but then also, and this might be an over-conclusion, but I discovered the map fragment for Farum Azula on the Mountaintops of the Giants. So I bet you there is a connection from Far Missoula, or to Far Missoula from the Mountaintops of the Giants. No. Who's this fucking guy? Yeah, I'm not going to this bullshit. Yeah, I'm not fucking summoning no fucking jar, man. I'm friends with the kiddo at fucking Jarburg. I'm gonna go check out this view here, though. It is pretty late. I should probably walk Cecilia. I gotta see his view. Name Jarburg cracks me up. It's the best fucking name. Could call it Jarville. I mean, like, that is stunning. I mean, like the contrast of the beautiful gold and the black, red, gray, and desaturation in the mist, it almost looks sickly. Where's our giant boy? There's my guy. All right. I'm coming, baby. Hell yeah. Why the shield hits. Oh shit, he's fucking hit me with that tummy fire. Mamma mia. Yeah, so there's Alright. So, let's see here. There's... I'm gonna go through this pathway now. Alright, let's go this way. It's nap time. Yeah, Poquala. I might be. A little nip nap ASAP. Myself. fire giant know I'm here? Oh, he does. Dude, what does this fight on the horse look like? This fight must be amazing on the horse. Does you actually get to fucking see the guy? Holy fucking shit. This is awesome. Oh my god. This fight on the horse is fucking awesome. Dude. Oh my god, this is so sick. Oh, fuck. Oh, I need a horse jump there. Okay. Get up. Okay, so that's like above my head, maybe? Guy's so pissed off. That attack, how much a surprise gets me. Cognizant of is that when I'm stabbing, it locks my rotation. Yeah, it's the overheadness that I think is the issue. Yeah, so I think that even if I'm looking up, it'll still damage me. Oh my god, he has his chest is a nose and a mouth. Oh, okay, it's a new attack. Fucking sick. Oh, I thought I could maybe go this way. Here I come. Horse combat is fucking rad. Oh! Don't rip it off and use it as a blunt instrument. Jesus, you just tap out. Oh my god. Yeah, man, if you got a one-eyed god of flame that sees you're ripping its shit off. Oh my fucking god, it's chest Voldemort. It's fucking chest Voldemort. Here we go. Holy shit, that's fucking rad. Holy shit. Ow. Fuck, that feels more damage than I expected. Alright. Oh, that's a tree. A little passing staff. This fight is unbelievable. Get right in there. Just stab in the genitals. Alright, get in. There it is. Fight is unbelievable. Shit, talk about frenzied flame, am I right? Get up! Oh, shit. Alright, well. Let's hold the... Holy shit. I missed my horse. Yeah, dude. Dude, you run out of force points, you're fucked. Alright. Dude, that fight was incredible. That was an incredible fight. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna allocate our flasks. And we're going to allocate flask charges all the way in this way. And then I'm gonna do it one more time, because I think we can get it in one. I want to see what this feels like. It's way, way, way easier to manage. Because this has a long swing. Oh, look, his little leg came back. Alright, good. It just hurt my horse. Yeah. Dude, I knew it. Wait, is that one of his old legs? See that leg that's on the ground, right? Is that one of his other legs? Alright. Let me up. Ha! Got my roll. Alright, alright. Well, very well. Did I keep forgetting about my fat roll? I'm like, oh. Alright, alright. This is legitimately my last one. I mean, because it's still going to remind me that it's now almost 40 minutes past, just in case. Yeah, I'm no life in it, man. I gotta walk my dog. I have to, like, do laundry. I want to shave, you know. There's, like, some real-life ass bullshit I want to get done, but, like, nothing matters. That fucking attack. Dude, why? Why is it?
Greatsword is fucking busted. It's so good. Oh, yeah.
so much stamina to swing this fucking pump. Oh, I nearly just died to some poorly done horse parkour. Some horse hardcore. Actually staying under it. Really good shape. Shit, can't get there. Oh, did you see the invulnerability frames? I'm the fucking god, man. I was laughing. No. Fucking go. Gotcha. Fuck. Oh, he's one of the fucking, he's one of the big boys. Hell yeah. Alright, well, yeah. Very well. Alright, well, I want to check out this, and then I'll go to here, and then I'll go to here. Yeah, Ghosty, I mean, I appreciate you checking in, making sure that I had everything. Oh, yeah, I need my souls. That, you know, I got everything. I appreciate you checking in, but I walked CC right before I fired this puppy up. Alright, nothing here. So it actually is just a big open arena for an awesome, epic fight. That's really cool. I mean, that fight was incredible. Man's so confident in his victory, left his soul sitting on the floor. Well, it's more like I have literally, like, so many souls per level that losing 250k, like, doesn't really matter. Oh, no. Here goes. Do you have high expectations for the first new Frost Giant Studios RTS game, or is the latest scandals what happened with Blizzard regarding harassment darken your view on even the Blizzard Old Guard? Well, I mean, honestly, like, so I feel like there's a few different questions in there, right? So the first one is, do I have high hopes? I mean, I have a disgusting and sickening bias in that a lot of my friends work there, my mom works there, so I'm gonna fucking buy their shit, man. They got a Platinum Jubilee Battle Pass, I'm fucking getting that shit, man. So I mean, that's one piece to it, which is like, yeah. And I think that, like, I actually have, I have more of a warm view of some of the Blizzard Old Guard, because, I mean, frankly, a lot of them just, like, didn't do PR bullshit statements when that whole scandal came out, which I appreciated, and have been proactive since then, which I've appreciated. I think that, like, you know, there's, when it comes to the culture inside of a company, like, I mean, changing anything in a company is like steering a battleship, right? It's like you need to slowly turn it over time. And that's part of the reason why, since a lot of the sort of scandals and drama and all sorts of various issues have come up, I've sort of been like, I'm just going to step away from Blizzard for a little bit. Because it was not one thing that caused me to have that feeling. It was a lot of small things that kept building up over time. I shouldn't say small, but it was a lot of significant things over time. Build up, build up, build up, build up, build up. And so, you know, when it comes to that large company itself, oh, holy shit, this is so cool. This is so fucking cool. This is so rad. Is there anything else up here? Should I just drop down? I'm just gonna drop down. Fucking this game sometimes. This game sometimes drives me insane. This game sometimes. Alright. This fucking game sometimes. Alright. I've never experienced a death that wasn't worth experiencing twice. For, you know, what when it comes to like the company itself and all this, I mean, it's one of those. There's nothing as simple as, yeah, it's great, no, I feel good, or no, it's horrible, I think it's all bad and it'll never be good again. You know, it's something where it's like this is a really trite comparison, so I'm not trying to convey stakes. But you ever had that friend that was late 4 times in a row, and on time 5, they're like, I promise I won't be late? You give them the benefit of the doubt, and you also, you know, bring your e-reader so you got something to do when they're invariably fucking late. And then if they show up on time, hey! Hey, showed up on time, fuck yeah, that's fucking great news. And if they did show up on time, what the fuck is this fucking game? The glowstone was fine. Oh my god. Fuck, man. I don't believe this shit. Well, there's no death in Elden Ring that isn't worth experiencing 3 times. Jesus. Well, this area's not so cool anymore. Alright. Yeah, if your friend shows up and they're not late, you're like, great. And the next time, they're like, alright, I'll be there, I won't be late. You're like, well, you were late 4 times and then not late once, which is good. You know, it's kind of like they would need to not be late 100 times in a row for you to actually sort of break that understanding. To actually say, ah, you've changed. So, you know, when it comes to something like, you know, Frost Giant, which is frankly not a lot of the Blizzard Old Guard anyways. When I say Old Guard, I mean like the old, like people who founded the company sort of thing. See if we can see Farm Azula. Aha! Huh. Let's see if I face like this. Farm Azula is like right this way somewhere. Alright. So your passage ahead. Try jumping. Yeah, alright. So my understanding is that I don't want to go inside the Forge of the Giants because it's fucking hot in there. So yeah, I mean, I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic. I mean, it's also one of those things where it's like, you know... No, again, guys. My mom is the director of biz dev at the company. Of course, this game has trained me.
I have long observed the lands between.
Me too.
This world is in dire need of repair and death. Indiscriminate.
Oh,
Are
okay.
you prepared to commit a cardinal sin?
Let's wait.
Very well, tell me.
When we come back on Wednesday, I think it might be sinning time. Sinning and scouting and researching and looking. God. Thing of beauty. Thing of beauty. I'm gonna do some sinning on Wednesday. For now, I'm gonna walk old Bone Eyes the dog. Old Bone Eyes, well, hey, beauty babies, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave. And I'll see you tomorrow. We're gonna do some drafts and Magic, and Wednesday we're gonna try to beat this little video game here. Hey, Despy. Meow. Thank you, everybody. Let's go here. Let's do this. 180 hours even. Just hit it.